Hello and welcome back to Untitled-2 podcast. My name is Connor.
My name is Ash.
I said we record today because it was cooler. Like it's actually spitting outside a little bit. But fuck, just coming in here.
Yeah, I
It's
know. I
still
went out
so
for
warm in here.
went out for a smoke earlier because I was like, yes, rain. I got outside, lit my cig. 12 seconds later, it was like, nope, no more rain. And I was like, you cock.
It's like fucking Florida. Unbelievable.
You know, the cool thing about Florida, I'm glad you brought it up because I was thinking about this the other day.
Alright, okay.
When I went to Florida for like the first time, Florida's a crazy place because they don't have seasons. It's summer all year round, right?
Yeah.
And when it rains, they don't have rain like we do, where it rains for a good, like, anywhere from like, half an hour to like all day, maybe a week. It rains for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you have cloudbursts. So like, the cloud gets too heavy, it just bursts, and then 5-10 minutes later, it's over. The sun comes back out because the clouds are fucked off, and like 10 minutes after that, everything's fucking bone dry again. And I was like, I couldn't live in Florida. I can't handle this weather, and it's only getting up to like 24 degrees, 25 degrees ish.
Oh fuck.
Whereas Florida's like
Just mute my phone.
perpetually in the 30s, like every day.
Oh, that would be so hard.
How
do they do it?
Well, for one, they spend a shit ton of money on irrigation and that, don't they? Like, because they need to keep the grass like green and places like that, and everyone's got air conditioning. You can't even drink water out there. The water's fucking. It's not like ours. They don't have.
Yeah. There's a lot of places in America like that, though.
Yeah, they don't have a good fucking water system like we do. So you can't drink the tap water as much as you want to. You've got to go out to the shop and buy bottled water, which is cool because you can just throw it in the fridge.
Yeah.
The refrigerator. But yeah, fuck Florida, man. It's a crazy place.
Fuck Florida. Although right now I would willingly accept a cloudburst. Like to just suddenly get drenched, cool off, and then dry up like minutes later.
We were in one of the amusement park things, and there was a cloudburst there. First time we went, massive cloudburst. All the Americans, you could tell it was them because they quickly ran for cover. Any shop that was open, there were just like 10, 20 Americans all huddled in. As many as you can fit in there with them being as obese as they are. Just like getting away from the rain. And they were just those fucking British sods walking down like soaked in water, just like arms out like, ah. And then it went in and we dried up and I was like, fuck this country. Fuck this state in particular. I didn't know it was a state back then because I was like 12 or something.
I've never been to America. I think if I went, there's probably only 2 places I'd want to go.
To be fair, mate, I reckon you'd really like it. You wouldn't like the weather. We got off the plane, right, and the difference between the cabin temperature and the plane, which was a nice cool, like, I don't know, maybe like 15 degrees or something like that, was manageable. It was filled with everyone's farts for like 9 hours, but whatever. You step off and the fucking humidity and the heat just hits you in your chest and you can't breathe. You're like, fuck.
Jesus.
You quickly get like acclimated to it, but I don't know, mate. You'd like it because it's your sort of food, mate. Super unhealthy, delicious food.
It's cheap as well, I've heard.
When we first went, everything was massively cheap, but economies were stable then. But yeah, to be fair, it's not a bad place, Florida. It's filled.
I don't think I'd want to go to Florida.
It's filled with 50% old people because for some reason old people retire there.
And 50% crocodiles.
There's a lot of crocodiles. There's a lot of boa constrictors because there's like
boa constrictors. Fuck.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of like a massive section of Florida's marshlands in it, like swampy areas and that. And there was a massive, I don't know, like decades and decades ago, there was a massive. I want to say a hurricane. I read that it was a hurricane. I don't know. It could be something different, but like. Loads of boa constrictors got sucked up in the air or something and just dropped in this marshlands. And the pay people, right, would just be these fucking rucksack things. No, rucksacks. It's like old-timey fucking burlap sacks or something, right? And they walk around this place. A snake will wrap around the leg and be like, oh, found one. They'll uncoil it, throw it in the bank, and they get paid to do that. Wow. But yeah, there's a lot of crocodile. Well, I think it's alligators. I don't think it's crocodiles. I don't know, but... yeah, we were going to the Kennedy Space Center once, and
that sounds cool.
On the way there, I think it was the weather or something like that was making them, migrate out of the little hiding places. Mm-hmm. And on the side of the motorways or freeways, as they're called in America, there were just like alligators everywhere, just sat on the side, like getting cool or whatever.
That would be cool to see.
It was awesome. I was scared though. I was like, "What if one bites the tires?"
Worth noting that this was last year.
as I was saying though, 50% retired people.
The joke was that you were actually a kid when you went.
Yeah,
but anyway,
the 50% retired people and 50% crazy like drug-addled psychos. You always see
like the Walmart type.
Yeah, you always see fucking headlines and stuff like on the internet, on blogs, like crazy man with a butt plug up his ass attacked cops with a dildo or something like that. You're like, what is going on in Florida? Don't drink the tap water. Yeah, it's not a bad place, America. I reckon you'd like it. There's a lot of cool stuff there, like food and now that we're old enough, we could obviously go drinking and all that.
Yeah, I think if I went, I'd probably want to go to either California, because that's just a cool place.
Yeah, I'd love to go to California as well.
I think because we're so wrapped in YouTube culture, like we're prepared for a lot of the culture in California, because they all seem to move there, don't they? So,
is like, I don't know. It's not just YouTube culture, but I think a lot of our personal like culture wraps up with Californian culture. Like, you know, weed's legal over there. You know what I'm saying?
I'd also I'd like to go to Manhattan, I think, but I would hate to stay there. It'd have to be for a day max. Maybe even a day would be too much, because I just don't like really busy cities, and I can't think of a busier city to go to. I
want to go to Cats. You know, there's that movie like When Harry Met Sally or something like that, and there's a famous scene where I assume it's Sally. I've never seen the movie, but they go to this deli, and they get a sandwich or whatever, and like she starts having an orgasm at the table. But like it's a super popular like I think it's called a delicatessen.
Right. Okay.
And they do like pastrami sandwiches or something, mate. And like they're the best sandwiches in the world, and it's crazy. You go in there, you get a ticket, and you wait for like an hour for a sandwich or something. But yeah, I'd love to go there. There's loads of places in New York I'd love to go. They've got a right pizza scene there, mate, and you'd love it.
Yeah, innit?
They sell pizza by the slice as well, so you could like go to one place, get a nice slice of whatever pizza you want, chow that down, go to the next one and be like, I want a slice of this, and just go like do a fucking like a pub crawl, but with pizza slices.
That sounds like a really good time.
It's expensive though, and like you said, the fucking packed in shoulder to shoulder in New York.
That's crazy.
Living there would be worse though. It's really expensive to live in New York.
Yeah, council tax is ridiculous in York.
Yeah, and like
in New York, not York.
Different areas as well. Like, is it Brooklyn that's like the hipsters have taken over now?
Oh, I don't know.
But there's a bunch of places where hipsters have taken over, and like those places, the cost of living there is skyrocketed.
Right. Yeah.
But they've also got some really poncy as fuck cafes out there where you can go get a coffee and they'll give you the coffee grounds. The coffee beans, a fucking grinder, and they're like, make your own fucking coffee, you prick.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But yeah, New York, I'd love to go there. California, though, I think that's where I'd like to. I'd move out to California. That's
there's lots of places in Europe I'd prefer to go first. Like I really want to go to Italy. I've wanted to go to Italy for years, and it's weird because I go to France quite a lot, and it's not far from Italy. I could probably do a day visit or something, but just never get around.
There's a few places in Europe I'd like to go for a day, or like
exactly.
or like maybe 3 days max.
Yeah,
I'd love to fucking just once in my life go to Oktoberfest in Germany.
Yes, we were talking about that a lot when we were younger, weren't we?
Yeah, Amsterdam for obvious reasons.
Yeah, Amsterdam would be a great just couple of days holiday, like just spend a weekend there, something like that.
Yeah.
I really want to go to Japan as well.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Not for the obvious weeb reasons, but that does help.
But also for the obvious weeb reasons. And also, I heard you can find dead bodies in forests. Let's go film one or something, man.
One place I really want to go, that I think we're going to make plans to go in the next year or something, is Iceland.
Right.
I think that would be dope, just to go to Iceland for just a week or something.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really expensive, though, so it might require a bit of saving.
I'd like to go to Greenland, just because the fact that no one's around for, like, miles.
Yeah,
I'd love to just go to one place and be like, in any direction, there's not another living person for at least 6 hours.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like my isolation and stuff like that. My mum was saying earlier in the week, she was like, when are you going to have, like, a girlfriend and a baby and that and start a family of your own? I'm like, I'm not into that stuff, Mum. I'm not. I don't want... Like, women are great. I love them. I could not keep one as a girlfriend. First off, because I refer to it as keeping one, like you do a pet. Second of all, I'm so cynical, and I won't want to bring a baby into this. I'm pissed off that my parents brought me into the world in the 90s, let alone bringing a child in now. And she was like, but when me and your dad go, are you going to be so alone? I'm like, when have you ever seen me complain about being alone? I'm always complaining that I'm surrounded by people. I want to go somewhere where I'm not with no one else.
Yeah, like whenever I take a day off work, they always ask me, "Oh, where did you go? What did you do?" I'm like, I sat in my underpants at home. It's the best thing ever.
I just took some time out from life, mate.
Yeah,
like,
I just need a break sometimes.
I don't know. Like, I'll socialise. I can socialise brilliantly, like really well and stuff. It's just...
You're very modest as well.
Well, no, because like you expect introverts to be like really shy in social situations.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but I'm alright. I'll be the centre of attention. In fact, I would prefer it most times. But I can go in a room full of people I never met, and within a few hours, like we'll be best friends. You know, it's just every now and then, like you'll go to like a party or you'll be somewhere with friends, and you're just like, I'm having fun, but mate, my batteries need fucking recharging. So you'll go and be alone for a few hours and that, and it's just, I don't know. I thrive on being alone.
I get like that. When I go to France, for example, to see my girlfriend's family, like it's a week of just spending time around other people. And even with my own family, when I was growing up, I stayed in my room a lot. So it is really exhausting, but I just don't want to offend everybody and be like, I just need some time alone. I'm going to go play Switch in the bedroom. But yeah, I used to be really, really anxious about social situations and stuff. I'm not really anymore. Like, I figured people tend to enjoy a conversation with me because I'm just nice to everyone. Yeah. Like, that's one of my rules of life, is just to be nice to everyone, even if I fucking can't stand them. Where was I going with that? Oh, but I still have some, like tics, I guess, from when I was anxious about social situations. So I'll be talking to a stranger, and in my head, I'm not nervous at all. I'm not panicking or anything. I'm clearly saying what I want to say, but I'm fiddling with my hands and like clicking my fingers and like moving my fingers around and shit. Yeah. So I look like I'm nervous. I look like I'm making myself small, but I actually am. I don't really have a problem with it. It's just something that's carried over from when I was like really scared of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I went through a phase like early teens where I was like, I wasn't scared of social interactions. I was so like aware of how awkward I was, because I was obviously going through fucking puberty and that, and and I just knew how awkward I was. So I didn't want to like interact with many people. Yeah. And so when I was out and about, I was like, oh, there's people here, there's people there, like, I know, you kind of start thinking like, oh, what are they thinking about me and shit like that, but like as soon as I got to like say 14, 15, I was like, fuck it, Yeah. Yeah, and the worst part is, right, you'll go through a period where every now and then your friends will be like, oh, we're having this event, do you want to come? It'd be really cool, I want you to be there. And you're like, yeah, I'm down, let's do it. You'll show up, like another one will happen like a week later or whatever, or a month later, and like you'll just go through a period where every time you ask to go to like a social event, you'll say yeah, and you'll go. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, he's down for it every time. He'll want to go every time we ask him. And then they'll ask you again. You're like, no, right, I'm not going this time because I've gone to too many now. Yeah. I just need to be alone for at least 2 years.
Yeah. That happened to us when we were teens. Sort of like, just after I met you, you had a lot of cooler friends in your year. Because you're a year above me. And they knew all the cool friends in my year. So like you'd go hang out with them and you'd invite me along. And then I'd hang out with the cool kids in my year, and that sort of helped me because I used to get bullied quite a lot. So we, because my mum was constantly getting at me for staying in my room all the time. She's like, "Why don't you go out? Why don't you go see your friends?" And I never wanted to. Every time a friend came over and was like, "You want to come out and play?" I'm like, "And do what? I've got a GameCube in here. Fuck off."
Yeah. Got a GameCube. It's like 2008.
But yeah, I remember the biggest one was when we went to a girl called Demi's house. Yeah. And she had those fucking sharp ears. And we were just, oh my God. I just saw this stack of pancakes walk past me.
I think that was the first time you genuinely made me like belly laugh.
Yeah, we were proper crying, laughing. And it pissed in the corner and I'm like, it's pissing maple syrup. Yeah, that was funny.
Because I think up until that point, I was like the main comic relief of our duo. And like I'd laugh out of like decency.
Yeah.
But then, like, we just walked in and you're like, what's that? And she's like, oh, it's my dog. It's like a Shar-Pei or something. And you're like, it's a fucking stack of pancakes. I just lost it. That was a really weird, like, they want to party. It was just more like, people in my year, especially my social circle, they were really into, like, just chilling out with each other.
Yeah. Well,
like,
basically all we did was stand around in the garden, try not to get hit by a washing line.
Yeah. And then we all just sat on the fucking big ass trampoline thing and just chilled.
Used to go to the graveyard a lot as well.
Yeah, they used to
mentioned that before.
Like after I split from the group, because I wasn't as, my batteries weren't as charged as they were, so I couldn't go to every fucking gathering they had. They went through this phase where they'd go camping and stuff like that. Yeah,
there was like a valley. People just called it the Valley in Queensbury, and everyone went camping there. Never seen it in my life. I don't even know where it is.
But yeah, they also went through a phase where I think they might still do it, where they'd buzz, they'd be calling each other on the phone and be like, "Do you want to go out for a meal? Just like to a restaurant somewhere."
What the fuck?
I'm like, are they 60? Are they going to be asking me to go out to brunch next?
So going back to America.
Yeah.
Donald Trump, the president of America. I've recently become connected in some way with him.
Okay.
So, as some people may know, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the podcast before, but my mum works at Jaguar Land Rover. So she sorts out, I don't know, number plates or something. I'm not sure what she does. She's always worked in the car industry.
Yeah.
But I've never understood what she does, and sort of recently she's been getting commission for stuff, so I assume she's doing sales.
Right.
And she got a phone call the other day from somebody asking for 3 Land Rovers, Range Rovers, something like that. And they were from Donald Trump's admin personnel.
Wow.
And they were asking for 3 Land Rovers to be sent to Scotland for his visit to Scotland. Today or tomorrow, although when this podcast comes out, it will be the weekend previous.
Yeah, I think yesterday he'd touched down in London.
Yeah, he's apparently staying in London for 1 day and then he's going to Scotland.
Right.
But yeah, it's apparently weird. Like, it's such a weird thing. My mum's like, "Oh, I just sold 3 cars to Donald Trump." Immediately, I was like, "Fuck off! No, you didn't."
I was like, immediately, you should be like, "Right, this is what we need to do. We need to figure out how to make some timed explosives."
Yeah, well, every time I mentioned it at work, everyone was like, "Oh, tell them to hide fish under the seats and stuff like that." I'm like, "Are you crazy? Why would my mum do anything to sabotage Donald Trump?
And her job."
Yeah, exactly. Complete.
Donald Trump's a
suicide.
Like, he spent 1 day in London, and I think he's already criticising our government and shit.
No, of course he is. I mean,
fair enough. Like, what he said, everyone else is thinking anyway. Like, fucking Theresa May's Brexit plans, total bullshit and that. But whatever. That's politics. I don't care about politics.
Who is he to criticise, really?
Yeah, excuse me.
What is this thing with, like, concentration camps for kids?
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, he can criticise us all the fuck he wants, but we've never put kids in fucking cages.
So what I think the deal is allowing immigrants into the country, but the kids have to go to a concentration camp? Well, he's not calling it a concentration camp.
I think that's what he was doing.
It's some sort of education camp or something.
Yeah, he was taking, like, kids away to be like...
But why?
Because he's a fucking racist piece of shit.
Either help them, or don't help them. Don't make the situation worse. They've run away from some war-torn country where they can't physically survive. It was to ask for aid, to ask for, hospitality. And he's like, all right, you can stay here, but we're going to take your kids away from you, so every living moment is absolute anxiety and terror.
The thing is, though, I think they were coming up from Mexico, and it's not war-torn, but it's fucking run by cartels, which is worse, mate. The shit they do with people, it's insane.
I didn't think of that, because we don't really get Mexican immigrants, do we? So when you say immigrants, you think of, like...
yeah, well, the latest one was the Syrian refugees.
Yeah, Syrians and stuff. So.
No, it was Mexicans, because obviously the countries are connected, but there's an invisible border separating them.
Yeah.
And there's just, literally, I think they can just run across a river and they're in America, It's obviously heavily guarded, so it's not the best way. You'll probably get shot on sight.
Yeah.
But there are cleverer ways to get into America, and it's all just through the border. But yeah, he's been taking the kids away and locking them up for some fucking reason.
It's so weird.
Because he's a racist piece of shit.
I wonder what the education is. Like, is he saying if you want to stay in our country, you've got to speak American?
Oh, I can so imagine him.
I could see him doing that.
Just on his little fucking stand, like, making fun of someone like a 3-year-old does, like imitating the voice and doing a little funny dance or whatever, and he's all like, "You gotta speak American."
Yeah.
It's gonna be really huge. Fucking. Do you know who else I noticed says huge instead of huge?
Who?
Terry Crews.
Oh.
Terry Crews says huge.
It kind of fits him though, doesn't it?
Terry Crews is a fucking hilarious dude.
He's fucking huge as well.
He's fucking huge. People are giving him backlash about... Do you know when Weinstein ran up to him and just grabbed him by the dick?
Yeah, we talked about this on the podcast.
People are, like, being really aggressive towards him, saying, like, why didn't you just slap him down and shit? And it's like... He froze, man. Like, I'm sure anyone would, just because he's got a fucking more muscle mass than a fucking rhino or a, you know, whatever, buffalo. The buffaloes, oxes are strong. I don't know. He's got a shit ton of muscle. Dude's cut to fuck, but it doesn't mean he can fucking fight or he wants to.
Yeah, innit? He's a big guy, but he's nice. He's not going to just start punching people.
I'd love to chill with Terry
also,
Crews.
This is totally like American mentality. If you've got a shotgun, you're going to use it.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But no, yeah, Terry Crews is such a nice guy. I can't believe anyone would want to try and take any sort of like, fucking like action like that towards him or any. You know, like why would you want to grab him by the dick or take advantage of him in any way?
Well,
he's such a nice guy.
I don't think Weinstein thinks about that, does he? It's like, I have power, I can do what I want. Give me your nuts.
I have power. Let's take advantage of people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's saying. But I don't know, man. Terry Crews is just... I'd love to chill with him and just, you know, fucking...
Yeah, he's such a cool guy.
He's really
He's
humble.
a really good dad as well.
Yeah, he's really humble. Like, he recently got into gaming and that, didn't he? He built a massive PC rig for him.
Yeah, just to connect with his son.
Yeah, so he can, you know, connect with his son more because he realised his son was playing video games a lot and he wanted to be there with him and shit. And it's like, that's what the fucking more people need to do. Yeah. And like, there's that stereotype that black dads are never there and shit. It's like, look at Terry Crews. I'd love for him to be my dad.
Yeah. Innit?
Plus, I'd have amazing genes. I'd be black. I'd be tall. I'd be cut to fuck. Probably a big swinging dick. I don't know, mate. I'd love it. I don't know if he's bald though. Is he bald or does he just shave his head?
I think he's bald. It's awfully
I don't like
shiny,
that aspect.
Like,
yeah, but you can razor it down.
Yeah, but usually when they razor it down, you can still see the follicles.
It could be a really close shave. I don't know. Terry Crews, though, mate. I fucking love that dude. I'll watch anything he's in. He's amazing in Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well.
Oh, yeah.
The episode where Rosa says, like, what if Cagney calls Lacey a poo-poo head? And he just, like, is so shocked. He makes a right face and goes, it's just, like, the worst thing he's ever heard. You know, like, how he's always talking about yogurt? He's always like, Terry loves yogurt.
Yeah.
That's actually a real thing. Terry Crews in real life loves yogurt, and they've wrote it into the scripts. It was hilarious. And I like they called him Terry in it as well.
Yes.
They did it in Always Sunny as well.
I just started watching that. I'm trying to get into it. I don't know.
I think the guy who plays Charlie is called Charlie Day.
All right.
Which is pretty cool. I love Charlie.
Yeah, so far he's the only character I really like.
Yeah.
Although I've got as far now that Danny DeVito's in it.
Yeah. And
it's got a lot funnier just because Danny DeVito's there. So yeah, I don't know. I need to keep watching it because I feel like one of the things that's putting me off most is just how early 2000 it is.
It is very early 2000. It doesn't get better until like season 6. That's when. But the cool thing is like only 10 episodes per season.
Oh really? Oh yeah, I'm on season 2 already.
And they're like 20 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like season 6 where they finally updated the cameras, so it's no longer a boxed ratio.
Yeah.
It's widescreen and that.
There's quite a few seasons, isn't there? I think we're on like 13 something now.
There's 12 on Netflix, but maybe there's 13 elsewhere. But I'm on like maybe season 7 now or something, and it's got so much better. Like I feel like the first season was a bit loose with the characters. Yeah,
I was saying to you, like, they just started the show off as though the characters had been built.
Yeah.
And they just referenced things that had happened that they don't show you happening.
Yeah.
Which would have been good character building episodes, but they just skipped it all. They wanted like the Friends or How I Met Your Mother sort of sitcom status without working up to it.
I think they abandoned that quickly, didn't they? Like, season 2 rolls around and it's just no longer trying to accomplish that. It's still a funny show on that.
Yeah.
But
the thing that was immediately obvious to me in the first season was that they were just trying to hit on as many sore subjects as they could.
yeah,
So like they had an episode on abortion, an episode on
I think that's what I like about
Nazis and shit.
There's been a lot of episodes like that still. Like there's a bunch of episodes about racism and stuff like that.
But yeah, the first episode was about racism.
Yeah.
And he actually said the N-word. And I was like, what? So I actually rewound it to see if he actually said it in the subtitles. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. What I like about it, though, is the characters are really unapologetic.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really care. The script, obviously, mirrors that as well with the shit that they do. And I just like that they'll have the best intentions, but because they're all so wrapped up in their own egos and shit like that, things just go awry so fast.
Yeah.
Like there's one episode later in the season where Danny DeVito is like, oh, it's Charlie's birthday, let's do something really nice for him. I've got these spa tickets, whatever, and we'll set up a massive luau. And they're all like, I don't even think Charlie can say luau. And anyway, so they're all going out of the way to not be the typical selves, wrapped up in whatever, and plan like a really good birthday for Charlie. And then it turns out it's not even his fucking birthday, it's Danny DeVito's birthday. He's trying to get them all to plan his own party. And it just all goes awry so fast, and I like that.
That's great.
I also like how they decided that Charlie's going to be like super illiterate.
Yeah.
And he don't even write in words and letters, he writes in like fucking hieroglyphs and shit.
Yeah. There's been some really funny moments, like an episode I watched recently. They filmed this like jihad video, like he just starts shouting incoherent shit, and then the other guy just goes, "Don't build a restaurant here; it's a very bad idea."
Yeah, and what is it? Mac is all like, "Oh, we need a weapon. I'm gonna go get something." He comes back with a hammer or something like that.
Yeah. And then I can't remember what they've put a flaming bag of poop.
Yeah.
But there's a gas leak, so it blows up. And then they find the fucking jihad tape, which he was supposed to destroy, and it looks like jihad blew the building up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
No, I like that they do. Every now and then you'll watch an episode and you can tell it's leading up to something because it'll just drop little pieces of, like, little hints here and there. Like, he'll drop the tape, and like, earlier in the episode, it was like, oh, I've got gas leaks. And they're like, oh, he's going to throw the flaming pooper bag, it's going to explode. And you can, like, piece it all together, and when it plays out, and you've guessed it all. And
it's really satisfying, It follows, like, a rule that I first learned from Seth MacFarlane about having characters who do fucked up shit like that, who say, like, the N-word or dress up like jihad and shit.
Yeah.
As long as you have a responsible person there who looks down on that character for doing stupid shit, then it's the character's fault, and the character is learning a lesson, and therefore you can get away with making non-PC jokes because there's still some moral person there who's teaching them a lesson.
Yeah, I think it's really clever as well that they're all very, like, morally bankrupt.
Yeah.
But every episode there'll be at least one of them who's got the moral high ground. I think that's really clever.
Yeah, I love how one small thing leads into another thing as well. Like the episode where they go on welfare.
Yeah.
And then to get on welfare, they have to prove that he has a crack addiction.
Yeah, then they end up buying.
So they buy some crack and then get addicted to crack.
Yeah.
And they're also paying $200 a go as well for it.
Yeah, like ridiculously overpriced.
And then they end up with these like crack fiends just on the street. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, and all that just because they wanted to pass some little welfare test.
There's I think in season 6 or 7, whichever one I'm in, whatever last one I watched, right? I've been in it's been a few episodes since this happened, but like they kept referencing that they made their own Lethal Weapon 5 movie where Dennis plays Murtaugh and Riggs Mac plays Riggs, and they kept saying like it's really cool until halfway through when Mac forces them to change characters. So like Mac's playing Riggs all the way like until halfway, and then he switches over to Murtaugh, and he's like, and they're like, oh no, I think it really worked really well. And it's like, no, yeah, the script's all fine and that, but the thing that makes it bad is Mac has blackface on. And I was like, oh, that'd be fucking hilarious. I wish to show it. And like a few episodes later, they get some kids to sit down in the bar, like, film student kids, to watch it, and they actually do play it and stuff like that. It's hilarious.
That's cool.
So they got better at like referencing things and bringing them back later in the season, like after season 1 and that. But I've been enjoying it so far. There's a few episodes where I don't really laugh, but there's still cool things going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see why people like it. And I've finally seen the episode where Danny DeVito's like, my magnum dong.
Yeah. I didn't know it was from that until recently.
Oh, I did.
That was a dead fly out window.
Yeah, I've been eyeing it
as well.
I've been eyeing it up. You can have it if you want. I'm not really hungry.
Maybe later.
But yeah, Always Sunny, man. I don't even know why I started watching it. It was on Netflix and I was like, why not?
It's weird because Yosef at work started watching it, and he was telling me about it, and then the same day you said, "Oh, I've been watching it." I'm like, "Well, maybe I'll watch it." Maybe Netflix has been pushing it.
Yeah, it must be a Netflix thing. Speaking of Netflix, I showed you that picture I took of the House of Cards title card.
Where they've like glitched his face.
Yeah.
Well, I showed that to Yosef at work, and he got Netflix up on his phone and checked, and they have different thumbnails on mobile, and his face is clearly visible in that one. So
yeah, they have. It's really weird. Like, I think they base the title card art off of like your viewing trends. So if you watch TV shows with strong female characters, and like there's a show that's got a female character in it, it'll show you the art of the female character instead.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Geniuses.
I mean, according to some people on Reddit, I don't know if that's actually how it works, but it seems like there's some sort of...
We could just... I don't know. I guess we've got similar viewing patterns.
Yeah, I was viewing things...
I could go on my sister's account, because she's got an account on my account. And we could search the same film and see if the artwork's different.
I would dread to see what fucking shit she watches.
What gets recommended.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Speaking of Netflix stuff, do you know... What was it? 13 Reasons Why?
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy in it, the photography dude.
Yeah, the creepy
right. Guy. Well, I was watching the very tragic England v Croatia match.
Okay.
And the guy that scored, Perisic, I think he's called, or something like that, he looked exactly like him. I kept seeing him. I was like, whoa, I'm sure he had a broom handle up his ass last time I saw him. I wondered why...
Spoilers.
I wondered why the pitch was so brushed. Like he's running around with a broom up his bum. That was a very tragic match, but I feel like we did really well. For anyone who's not a football fan,
are we going to start talking about?
We're not gonna. No, we're not gonna get passionate like Dom is. But I would just like to say that, 28 years ago, like I think we managed to get to the semi-finals, and we haven't been there since.
Yeah.
And for a bunch of I think the average age of our team this World Cup was 23. And everyone didn't have any faith in us. Gareth Southgate's not been the fucking manager for long.
Yeah, I did notice that. Like, usually when the World Cup starts up, England is just dressed to the nines in fucking England flags and patriotism and shit. But we didn't have any of that until...
Yeah, no one had any faith. And
we got quite far in, and then everyone just... Flags came out and shit. Pubs got full.
It was the Panama match that everyone quickly switched. Up until that match, they were like... it's England. We probably would make it out of the group stage. And then we played Panama. We scored 6 fucking beautiful goals in that match. True. And then everyone was suddenly like, it's fucking coming home. It's coming home. Oh my God, lads, it's coming home. It's not.
Yeah, I saw a bus the other day. It was my bus. I was waiting for it. And I was like, is that my bus? And if it weren't for me knowing the number of the bus, I wouldn't have known where it was going because they changed the destination to it's coming home.
Dickheads.
Luckily for me, my bus was going to my home, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I think we did really well. Like, better than I anticipated. And to say that he's only been... I don't know how long he's been the manager of our national team, but it's not long. He's, proper whipped him into shape and that, and we got this far.
Yeah,
and,
it's not bad.
And they're all really young still, so the next 4 years... We've got the Euros coming up in 2 years, haven't we?
Mm-hmm.
So the next, 2 years, they've got a lot to... they can only get better. I think next World Cup's going to be just as good, if not better. We'll learn from our mistakes and all that. And I'm really proud of how far we got. I'm upset we didn't get it all the way to the end, but we got close. There was only 4 days left of the World Cup. Usually we're out way before then. And it's the first World Cup I've seen where I've not had to pick a second team to support when we get kicked out.
Yeah.
Because there's no point now. There's only two teams in it. I'm just going to watch it to see who wins.
Yeah, so I haven't really been Well, I've been following it, but I haven't been watching any matches. I watched one which was France v Australia, and it was one of the most boring things I've ever done, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think the commentators didn't help either because they're the driest fucking... Oh, it's just awful.
Yeah, my advice for the next time is to just, before going into it, know which matches will be the more exciting ones to watch.
Yeah.
You just, I don't know, like, read up on it, I suppose, like, see what everyone else is saying. Because, like, there'll be some teams where it'll be a really boring, like, no one will score, it'll be 0-0 or something like that.
Yeah.
The group stage is, like, I think probably the most boring matches happen in the group stage, because even if you don't win, there's still a chance for you to go through. So, like, a lot of teams won't play aggressively. They'll be saving it for the knockout phase.
Well, I haven't really been sort of, yeah, come on, England, it's coming home sort of thing. And to be honest, I've been supporting France throughout the whole thing because A, my girlfriend's from France, and B, she's got France in the sweepstakes, so if France wins, she gets money, which is...
I think there's a very good chance that France is going to win again.
Also, France is a good team. And
Croatia
when the World Cup started, obviously, I was like everybody else. I was like, England don't have a fucking dream of winning.
Yeah.
So I just went with France. But then when they lost, you were sort of like live texting me what was going on. I did feel like a little twinge of disappointment. I was like, oh.
Yeah, even my dad, who isn't a football fan at all, in fact, when we watch it, he goes out of the room for however long it's on. Even he was kind of invested in it. He was like, whenever I was telling him how well we did and stuff, he had a little smile on his face, and he even said, like, oh, I hope we win then.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I really spoke to him since we got kicked out. I've been really depressed. But I got really into it. I knew going in that it was going to be either extremely satisfying World Cup for us or an extremely disappointing one, because I knew we were going to have an all-young team.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, they're going to have loads of stamina and that, but then they don't have the experience, and they might make some shit mistakes. It could go either way. And that Panama match is where I was like, right, this is it. This is going to be a good World Cup for us. And it really was, man. A brilliant one. And I'm going to watch the final. In fact, I'm going to watch the third place, because obviously we could be in third place, but we're playing in Belgium again, so... So I'm going to see how that plays out. But if this was the next World Cup and our players, the same players, they've just got more experience and stuff, I reckon that Croatia match would have gone very differently, because on paper we are the better team. It's just the players don't have the experience. They didn't know, like, they were making a lot of mistakes, and I don't know what's going on with Sterling, because he's not a bad player, right? He's really fast, gets to the ball often, right? And he's always in where he needs to be. It's just he looks like he's about to make a decision, but then he stops. Like, he's got no confidence in himself. There was a point where he got the ball, he was in the box, he could have crossed it. And there were like three of our teammates, right, making a run into the box. He crossed it, bounced off one of the forwards, it would have gone in. He lifted up his leg, went to hit the ball, but then stopped. And then he got tackled out of the box, and the ball went out for and I was like, what's going on, Sterling, man? They did the same shit during the Sweden match. So I don't know, man. People give him a bad rep. Like, when I was watching it, everyone else was like proper swearing at Sterling and shit, and screaming at him, and I'm like, just give him a break, man. He's not bad. He's fast as shit. He's also really armsy. Have you noticed?
No, I haven't watched any.
He runs around and, like, he sways his arms about and shit. They're really floppy and stuff. And in FIFA 18, because I've been playing that during the World Cup, because I've got the football fever, I've noticed they've done the same, like, animation. They've animated him, so his arms do swing around and shit, like, which probably isn't a good idea, because that's, you could handball them really easily.
Yeah. Obviously, I wasn't watching the match. I tried to watch because we got 30 minutes of extra time. I tried to watch that, but it was on ITV Hub, and I used to have ITV Hub on my TV, but I couldn't use ITV Hub or BBC iPlayer without tuning my TV into some channels that have an aerial, because I don't want Freeview, because I don't give a shit. Yeah. So what I did is I reset my TV and said no to the license agreement or whatever for Freeview, and then it let me use BBC iPlayer, but ITV Hub completely disappeared off my TV because I wasn't allowed to use it. And then I thought it was on PlayStation TV, but it wasn't. So I just... sort of, there's this thing on The Guardian, where they do a live text version of the match, so it just automatically updates with new text, and I'm just trying to find. Oh yeah. So I really liked the way the guy wrote everything. He just had a really quirky sense of humor about everything. So I sent you like an excerpt, which I'm going to read out, which is quite funny. The big striker takes his own sweet time to leave the field of play, and the referee performs the international mime for "I'm adding on time, son." What the fuck? So I actually enjoyed following the football for a few minutes because of that guy. It was quite funny.
Yeah, I think I might follow the Euros. I've never watched a Euro, tournament, but I feel like, God, do you not realise, mate? Next time the World Cup's on, I'll be 29.
Wow.
I want to see him win in my
I'll be 28.
lifetime. Yeah, I really do want to see England win in our lifetime. It'd be nice. Be a nice story to tell the young'uns.
See, that's the thing. When before the World Cup started, if there was ever anybody who was like, "This is the year we're going to do it," I was like, "What makes you think that? And why do people always like, oh, we won in 1966?" I'm like, do you hear yourself?
God, football was so different in 1966, mate.
Yeah, we've got that like different. Fucking, what is it? VAR.
Yeah. Which doesn't seem to be doing its fucking job, mate. There was so many instances. I watched the ball go out of their corner, right? One of their players tried to keep it in so he could boot it downfield. He didn't do a good job of it. There was visible green between the ball and the line. The ball went out and the VAR was like, "Nah, man, that's a goal kick." And I was like, "How is that a goal kick?" I got so fucking heated in that fucking thing, mate. It was.
Yeah, I think there was a match I watched. The one that I watched, the France match. I think there was a handball in that, and they used VAR to confirm it. And I thought, well, that's not fair. The ball hit his arm. He didn't move his arm to hit the ball. But apparently, if your arm is above your head, because it doesn't need to be above your head, it's a handball whether the ball hits it or not.
Yeah, like the handball, it's very hard to determine whether you're meant to do it or if you're just being careless and all that. But like, there's certain instances where if it hits you in the shoulder or like just below the shoulder, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you've not got your arms like as tucked in as you can and you're just swinging them around and your arm hits the ball, then it's it's a foul.
Yeah.
And if you put your arms above your head and the ball hits your arm, it's handball and stuff. People use it as well to like get fouls if they notice you've got your arms out and they're called jockey it. It's called jockeying, where you've got the ball and there's an opponent fucking player next to you and he's looking for any chance to get the ball away from you. He's jockeying you, and what you can do is if you're clever enough and you see an opening, he's got his arms out, you can just chip the ball up into his arm and get a fucking foul and stuff.
Oh man.
Which is, it's not really cheating.
There's so much snaky stuff that goes on in football.
Yeah. Especially in modern football. Like, there've been so many instances in this World Cup where I've seen a player knows that there's a player coming to get the ball from him, and he'll wait just until that player gets to him, and he'll go down.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Disgusting.
Well, like, if you can use it to your advantage as well, because if you. Like, Kane's done this a few times. He's scored us a few free kicks because he'll know there's a player coming. He'll see that there's none of his teammates he can pass it to. There's no good play he can do. So in his head, he's like, if you want to come and tackle me, come do it. I'm going to get a foul off you, and he does manage to successfully get a foul and stuff.
It's still it doesn't ring true. It doesn't ring right with me.
But like, I don't know, man. Like, what's the alternative to that would be everyone just stand in your position, you kick the ball to him, you wait until he's got the ball, no one tackle him, stuff like that. Like, it's got to be a bit fast paced, otherwise it'd be really boring. It'd be like fucking basketball when you get the ball, like in school, they're like, oh, you can't move now, you've got to turn, pivot, and then pass it. And it's like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
They don't do that in proper basketball. You see them all the time. They'll get the ball, they'll make a right run for the fucking hoop. But when we were in school and we were doing like PE. Yeah,
there was some really weird rules.
There was like, oh, you can't move when they pass your ball. You've got to pivot and try and pass it back through them. And it's like, yeah, but what if I'm like really small and the guy in front of me is like fucking 6'10" already and super wide?
Yeah,
I'm fucked.
Right, let's move away from sport before I get nauseous.
All right.
How long have we got left? So I can decide what topic to move on to.
We're coming up on like the 45-minute mark.
All right, I'll I'll do some small stuff because I've got a big topic and we should save it for next time.
All right, let's do it.
So I was thinking the other day that the dramatic voiceovers they do for movie ads are so ridiculous. Like, whenever you hear it, you think, "Oh, right, that's a parody. That's a joke."
Do you even do that?
See,
anymore?
That's what I was thinking. Like, because I noted this down. I'm like, "Oh, I'll talk about that on the podcast." Even though I haven't heard it for a while, we could talk about how we haven't heard it for a while. And then we're listening to Spotify at work, and one of the guys who was casting his Spotify didn't have premium, so we were listening to ads and stuff.
Right.
And there was a movie for, I think it was straight to DVD, like horror.
Okay.
And the guy was like, "Coming this summer." And I'm like, "Well, no way, they actually still do that."
I can.
And we honestly thought it was a joke. But then we Googled it and it was like, it's a real movie.
No, yeah, I can see why they'd have to do that for Spotify ads, because there's no visuals. Although, on the app on my phone, when I didn't have premium, it would play a video as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's this thing on Spotify where it's like, enjoy this ad, and then you'll get 30 minutes of uninterrupted music.
Which is a fucking lie.
Which never happens. Apparently, it's telling you to look at your phone and watch the video. And if you don't watch the video, you don't get the 30 minutes of uninterrupted music. But I've never actually seen a video on Spotify.
Well, no, that's bullshit, mate, because, like, I'm not saying you're lying, I'm saying what they're saying is bullshit. Because whenever when I was jobless and I was like to make my way, to pay my parents, I'll do the housework and all that shit.
Yeah.
I'd go to do the dishes and I'd plug my phone up into a speaker system. I'd load up Spotify. Immediately an advert would start playing. My screen didn't go dark or anything like that because I don't think my phone does that. If there's something playing, like a video or whatever, it keeps the screen on.
Yeah. And
so the screen goes and it's all like, "Thank you for watching the video. Enjoy the next 30 minutes ad-free." It'll play one song, an ad will start playing.
Yeah,
I'm like, "You're a fucking liar." But obviously I have premium now, so it's only for 3 months though, because it was like tenner for 3 months.
Yeah, I like when they do that.
Fuck paying £10 a month for a year.
Yeah, when I got my S6, it was £10 more a month.
Yeah.
To have that phone, and then to make up for it, they offered me 3 things. One was like Sky Sports and something else, like Sky for a year.
Like Now TV or something. That's
to watch on my phone.
Now TV's lumped in with everything these days, isn't it?
But obviously, I didn't want a sports thing, and I don't watch TV, so I went for Spotify, which was the only other thing there, which is £10 a month, which made me feel better about paying £10 more a month for my phone.
Yeah.
Now I've got this phone, this Note 8. Nothing's going to make up for the ridiculous amount of money this shit costs. But yeah, I'm happy with it. It's worth it.
I keep meaning to like just save up some cash and buy a whole year premium, because then you get it for life then, don't you? It's a one-time payment. And you get
you can get a life subscription, can't you?
Yeah.
I wonder how much it is. It must be ridiculous.
It's £120. I think you just pay for a whole year up front, and then after that you get it for life for free. Well, not free, but you've paid £120, but like you don't have to pay any more after that.
Yeah.
Which I keep meaning to do, because I do like Spotify. In fact, I'd say my life is very musically oriented. I'm always listening to music, and I'm always wanting to listen to music when I'm not listening to music.
Yeah.
So it's probably a really good investment for me. It's just, I'll save up £120 and I'm like, "Oh, look at that thing that I've been meaning to get as well. I'll get that instead."
I can imagine you getting to the point where you've just always got like cans on your ears, just listening to music. People are trying to have a conversation with. It's like in Parks and Rec when they do the wine and cheese club, and they all just get together to moan about life, and Ron just puts on big headphones and sits there nodding with a smile on his face.
"I like this box. You can put songs on it," or something, whatever he said.
Yeah. This is a nice rectangle.
Yeah. No, mate, like, I bought some Skull Candies years and years ago when I was a teenager.
Oh, the foldable ones.
No, they weren't foldable. They were expensive for me at the time, because I obviously didn't have an income or anything. And I think I'd saved up a bunch of money and I got them. And they were the audio quality at the time was really good. It was when I started getting into like audio quality and flat frequency responses and all that shit in headphones.
Yeah, I used to always get Skull Candies. I used to have some bass boosted ones where there was a switch on it and you could boost the bass, which was good for me at the time because I listened to a lot of dubstep.
Yeah.
But I would never use that now. Like, what an awful idea.
I think mine had a slight, bass boost to them.
Yeah.
Which I hate headphones that do that shit. Like, let me, the user, decide what frequencies I want to boost and which ones I want to scoop. You know, like I might want to scoop the mids a bit and boost the highs and lows. Let me decide.
Yeah.
And so I'm always looking for headphones that have got the flattest frequency response possible. But yeah, my Skullcandies back then were alright. But the point is, I was basically Ron back then. I would always have my headphones on. I was always listening to music on my little shitty iPod.
Yeah.
Like I'd go, I had them when I was signing on as well, and as soon as I left the house, I'd have my headphones on. I'd get, pay the bus driver. I'd be on the bus, headphones still on. Get off the bus, be waiting to, be signed on and all that shit. Headphones on. I'd go to the thing. I'd just turn the volume down a bit, and then she'd be talking. I'd be like, "Can you just repeat that?" I wouldn't even take them off for that.
Fucking hell, mate.
If
that were me, I'd have punched them off your ears, mate.
And then, like, I'd be going to the bus stop and some old lady would stop me and be all like, "Do you know where this is?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't know where that is." Refuse to take my headphones off.
Oh, I do that. Like, I'll walk to work with my in-ear headphones, and I'll just be listening to, like, some Lamar or J. Cole or something. And there's these two ladies I see every morning who walk like 4 dogs. And one of them is always excited to see me and runs ahead. But they don't like that. They were shouting back. But yeah, I'll always say good morning to him. And like every now and then I won't know how loud my voice is. So I'll just be like, "Morning!" And you'll just see him like cringe a little bit.
A little bit of blood trickling out of the ear.
Yeah.
One time, like I don't know where, like, I know where I live. I know the road where I live, but I don't know any roads around that shit, right? Or, because
I never did either, because like when I lived in Queensbury, people would be like, "Oh, it's so-and-so street," and I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, where? It's like, "Oh, it's the street behind your street." Just say that, but fucking, I don't know anyone on my street because I don't like where I live. There's a bunch of fucking reprobates on there. I've had pikeys moving recently, and there's always 2 horses going up and down the street now. Fucking horse shit everywhere. I open the door in the morning for a cig and I'm like, "That's fucking manure." But anyway, so yeah, I don't get out around my area. I just won't entertain the idea. Someone's like, "Oh, do you want to go on, to this place?" It's just down the road. I'm like, "What, on my street?" No.
Yeah.
But I was in town once, just finished signing on, and this old lady's all like, "Excuse me, do you know where so and so street is?" And I'm like, "I really don't know. You can get this bus and it might take you there, but it might not."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I'll just get it then. Will you let me know which stop to get off?" And I was like, honestly, mate, I don't know. All I'm going to be doing is looking at street signs. You should be doing the same." I just ignored her and got off my stop. And it turns out my stop was a stop where she should have got off. I got off the fucking bus. I turned around and I saw the big fucking sign there like, "Oh, that's where it is." And just carried on walking. Bus hadn't even set off yet. I didn't even go back and be like, "Oh, you should get off here now."
That happens a lot in Bradford. Like a lot of people being like, "Excuse me, do you know where Leeds Road is?" And I'm like,
"Somewhere in Leeds."
I think it's one of the big roads. It's probably that way. And then I'll point the opposite direction. I'm like, "I think you can get there from going that way around as well." It's just silly. I must have sent so many people in the wrong direction.
I just...
Oh, there was a guy looking for, like, I don't want to say my street name, but he said a different number and then the street name where I live.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I live at this number, which is just there, so it could be either up or down. I'm not sure what order it goes in.
Oh, God.
So I just sent him down the hill because I'm like, well, the numbers decrease surely as you go down the hill.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's unavoidable. I just don't like people approaching me in the street and asking me things. I'm like, "Who the fuck do you work for?" You know?
Yeah.
It just does me head in. Probably a leftover thing from when I was an antisocial, angry teen.
Yeah.
But I try my best to help them out, but if I honestly just don't know the answer, I'm like, "Yeah, you're fucked." You know?
Yeah, because I went to visit Queensbury like a couple of years ago, just to see how everything had changed, because I hadn't been there in like 3 years, and everything had changed a lot. And there was a guy who was like, "Do you know where this street is?" I'm like, "You know what? I lived here for 17 years, and I don't have a clue." It's a tiny village as well. It's tiny.
It just doesn't make sense in this day and age. Everyone's got a smartphone with data. Pull out Google Maps.
The other day when I was asked in Bradford, they were like, my GPS is telling me it's over there. And I'm like...
It's probably over there then.
Because it was asking for something in Centenary Square.
Right.
And I was like, oh, well, I know where that is. And he was like a delivery man. And he was like, my GPS says it's over there and points to the direction of Centenary Square. And I'm like, yeah, it is. And he's like, oh, can you show me how to get there? And I'm like, I'm going that way, just walk with me. So I was walking along with this delivery man talking about the weather and shit. And then I was like, halfway through giving him directions, I was like, if you go down these stairs, it's like a shortcut, and then nip between those two buildings over there. And he was like, thanks, mate, brilliant, and ran downstairs. I'm like, all right, well, maybe follow your GPS.
It's really like, I don't want to talk about weather with this lanky fuck any longer.
Got different weather up there.
Maybe it's just like, because you walk really fast.
I do, yeah.
It's like you're angry at something and you just want to get away from it as fast as possible.
I'm genuinely just such an impatient guy.
Yeah.
Like, I have really thick calves just because really, like, if I've got to walk quite a distance, by the time I get there, my shins hurt so much just from muscle, like, contracting so hard, it's like pushing my bone out of place. Just because I'm walking as fast as physically possible just to get to where I'm going.
You see, when I'm going somewhere, when I'm walking, I like to take my time because I just don't like getting there and feeling like I've only rushed myself.
Yeah.
I was like, well, because first off, right, walking fast pisses me off. Just, I don't know why. There's something about it, like, just calm down. You're going to get there, you know? And then if I've forced myself to, like, walk at a faster pace and I've got there, I'm just like, I'm not in the mood to do what I need to do when I get there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, because I hate climbing the stairs. We've got like 4 flights of stairs. It's ridiculous, especially in this heat. And I'm like, well, either I could slowly go up these and feel a bit better at the top, a little less sweaty, or I could just fucking jump 3 steps at a time, power myself through it. I'll be at the top sooner and then I'll just deal with the consequences. And then I'll get to the top of the stairs and I'll just sit down on the couch for like 10 minutes, just catching my breath and sweating everywhere.
Well, today when I climbed your stairs, I was like, right, fuck these stairs. I'm gonna do like 3 stairs at a time. And I always, because I'm a right foot handed person, I always lead on my right foot. Mm-hmm. So my first foot was fine, 3 stairs, brilliant. Pulled myself up. My left foot, something clicked in my knee, mate, and I almost went down in like just the worst pain ever. And I was like, I've got to take these slow. There's something wrong with it, mate. I've already told you the story, but for people that are listening,
it was a funny story.
I was being super lazy, and I didn't want to pull my chair out from my desk, and it would have been easy. It's not.
So you thought, I'll just phase through it.
It's on wheels. Well, no, it was kind of like it was pulled back a little bit and like tilted to the side because obviously I've got out of it.
Yeah,
it's easier to pull yourself out of a chair than it is to get back in it for some fucking reason. I don't know how that works. Gravity. I don't know. But anyway. So it was like pulled out a little bit and tilted to the side. So I was like, I can fucking fit in there, but I've got to do it fast.
I thought you were getting out of your chair, not into it.
No, I was getting into it. I already gotten out of it, and I was getting back into it. I think I'd gone for a smoke or something, and I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna do like a 6 sideways like slump into it. I cleared the fucking arm, you know, like that. My ass hit the chair. My knee hit the desk right on the corner, and the rest of my body, because I still had momentum, all my weight just pushed my knee into the desk. Desk is already flush against the wall, but somehow I still had enough room to slam against it. Fuck knows how that works. And then I just screamed, and my knee was just in the worst pain ever. It was like a numbing, kind of like throbbing pain. There was a bit of heat to it. I don't know what happened, but it was also kind of like some guy got a fork, shoved it in a drill, put it behind my kneecap, and just held the trigger. It was awful. If I didn't have skin on my knee, mate, my kneecap would have just gone and just flew across the room. It was awful. Like, and after about half an hour, the pain finally subsided, but there was like a really like numbing throb to it still, and that was there all day. The next day, it was all right, but I couldn't walk on it properly. And it's just not been right since, mate. Every time I take too large of a step up some steps or something like that, my knees just kind of like, remember, you fucking hurt me. And it's like, it just hurts.
You know, you're saying you tried to do an epic side slump into your chair.
Yeah.
I do that so much at work. When I get up to go to the toilet, I'll take the chair with me a little bit, so it's a little to the left of my screens. So when I get back in, I can just side slump, and the chair will have enough momentum to slide me like coolly back into place. It's very satisfying when it works.
I don't even know why I did it, because one time I did a side slump. I didn't have that chair, I don't think. I had a different... It might have been that chair. But anyway...
It was the one that broke from me doing side slumps.
I did a side slump, and... Do you know how, like, the bottom of desk chairs is like... It's like a 5-prong thing with wheels on it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, the wheel on the left side of the chair, the prong thing, was so strategically placed that if you put too much weight on the left, it would have toppled. And I did a side slump into it, mate, and the chair just went... Rip, and I just landed on my elbow, and my face hit the floor, and I was like... Yeah. So it didn't hurt. Like, I don't know why it didn't hurt. Probably adrenaline or whatever. Picked my chair back up. Super embarrassed. I was the only person in my room who saw it, obviously.
Just looking around for flies.
And I just sat down in the chair, picked up my controller, and just carried playing like my game, and didn't acknowledge it. Like, that never happened. But yeah, I should stop side slumping into chairs.
Speaking of side slumping, let's side slump out of these chairs.
Aye, because
cool off.
We are
fucking warm in here.
We've just hit like the 1 hour 1 minute mark, I think.
Oh, nice.
So
nice. Look at that
good
timing on me.
Good timing on your part, brother.
Right, before we sign off, I want to give a shout out. Oh, fuck. How do I always end up contorted in like a weird position whenever we do this?
Probably the heat, to be honest.
Yeah, it's too warm. I stay in one position too long. But yeah, I want to give a shout out to a couple of guys who follow us.
To no good. Started making trouble in our neighbourhood.
I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. No, they follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Called Finbar and Lee Underwood.
Yeah.
I think they have so far, because we put out daily highlights.
Yeah.
They have liked every single one that goes out. Like everything that I publish on Instagram, they're like all total like dudes. I don't know if they actually listen to podcasts or if they just enjoy the highlights, but I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, because if all we get out of the podcast is like several hundred 2-minute video clips that people can enjoy on social media every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Then that's still, I'm still happy with that.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Untitled-2 Podcast, or follow us on Twitter at UT2Cast. You'll get daily highlights, and we'll see you next week.
I have no clever, quippy thing to finish that off with, so I'll just end it now.